This is your math gal, Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where all of my videos are organized by topic. This is part 3 of evaluating trig functions of angles in right triangles. In part 1, we learned the definitions, given this triangle down here, and then here's one way that some people remember it. SOHCAHTOA sounds like an American Indian word. SOH, sine is the same as opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So whether you remember that or not is up to you, but you do have to know that the sine is opposite over hypotenuse, etc. So here's a problem. Find the exact values of cosine A, sine A, tangent of A, cosine B, sine B, and tangent of B. And I did forget to put the angles in here, so I need to put which one is A and which is B. Okay, so what do I have here? I know one side over here is 5. That's one leg of the triangle, and the hypotenuse is 13. You might recognize this triangle and know what the other side is, but if not, we could just easily do the Pythagorean theorem. Let's call this side across from angle B, little b. Often we do that with right triangles. If we have big letter B, we have the side be a lowercase b. So that means b squared plus 5 squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. So b squared plus 25 is 169. If we subtract 25 from both sides, we get b squared is 144. So b is 12. Now notice I'm not writing plus or minus 12 because b is a length. It can't be negative. If this was not a problem where b was a side, then and you just had this equation, b squared plus 25 is 169, then you would have plus b could be two possibilities, plus or minus 12. So now we know b. We can fill it in. Okay, so let's go for it. So we want to get the cosine. Oops, sorry. Cosine of A. All right, so cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So we have to look at A and we have to do the leg or side adjacent, which is 12, over the hypotenuse, which is 13. So I've done the cosine of A. And the sine of A. All right, so again, I'm looking at A. I want the side opposite A, that's over here 5, over the hypotenuse, 13. Tangent of A. The tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. So the side opposite is 5, and the side adjacent is 12. So there we've done the cosine, sine, and tangent for A. All right, let's do the cosine, sine, and tangent for B. Now, if you want to remember SOHCAHTOA, maybe you want to figure out the sine first. Sine, opposite over hypotenuse. So you're looking at B. Opposite is, the opposite side over here is 12. Over the hypotenuse is 13. And SOHCAHTOA, the cosine for B is the side adjacent over the hypotenuse. So that's the 5 is the adjacent side. It's 13 is the hypotenuse. And the tangent for B is the opposite over adjacent. So I look opposite, that's 12, over adjacent, which is 5. So there we have it. Now what you might notice, I've talked about this before, that the cosine of A ends up being the same thing as the sine of B. Why is that? Because for the cosine of A, you're looking at the side adjacent, but for the sine of B, you're looking at the side opposite. And of course, the side adjacent to A is the same as the side opposite to B, and then both of them have the hypotenuse. So that's something you might notice. So once you have the cosine of one angle in a right triangle, you should be able to figure out that's the same thing as the sine of the other angle. All right. So that's kind of cool. What we're saying here, if A and B are in the same right triangle, so they're acute angles in a right triangle, then the sine of A is the same as the cosine of B. And the cosine of A is the same as the sine of B. So it's kind of interesting. All right, so I think hopefully you are on your way to figuring out the cosine, sine, or tangent. And of course, I could have asked you for the secant of A. It would be the reciprocal of the cosine, etc. So there's more than just the cosine and sine and tangent, but these are the main functions in trig. This is your math gal, Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where all of my videos are organized by topic.